The World Rapid Play Championship is drawing to an exciting conclusion. I'd like to show you another game from that tournament, this time from day 2. It's a sparkling miniature between Daniil Dubov playing white and Nihal Sarin black. This is great fun. Here we go. Dubov. Well, we know that he's a very inventive player throughout the game, but particularly in the opening, he comes up with very interesting ideas. And even in such a regular opening as the Queen's Gambit accepted, he finds a really nice idea, which actually he's played before. Let's take a look. So everything normal so far. A very classical opening for both players. Black exchanges on c4, but hits out at white's centre with c5. Has a good reputation. And a6. So this is the point that black has dragged his bishop to c4 and then wants to gain time by attacking the bishop and getting his own bishop to the long diagonal. And you can react against this in many ways. You can withdraw the bishop, you can play pawn to a4, you can also play b3, lots of variations. You can even take on c5 as well and head for an endgame. But Dubov wants to keep some tension in the position, plays queen e2. b5, the standard move. And now bishop d3. So this is already a little bit unusual. It's certainly not the, I mean, it's obviously been seen before, but not the most popular way. And here, well, Dubov last year had a game against Aronian, which went bishop b7, and then he took on b5, and of course he wins a piece back. That's interesting. So instead of playing bishop b7, Sarin played pawn takes pawn, which looks very reasonable. So this is, one of the big ideas. You break down white's center. You play against the isolated queen pawn here. Or if knight takes, then you could say that, white has less influence in the center. But here is where Dubov plays this interesting idea, which he has played before, but it's rather rare. So instead of recapturing on d4, he plays pawn to a4. So breaking down this pawn on b5. And if the pawn advances, then white can use that c4 square. If pawn takes pawn, you can see that white has excellent development. It's going to be possible to play that knight in here. And, this is already quite dangerous for black, actually. These bishops look wonderful. There are lots of open diagonals, squares that white can use. So a4 just played. Sarin takes on a4, and now rook takes a4. Now, this rook enters the game at a very early stage, and we'll see how dangerous this can be. Dubov had a game like this, an online game, where his opponent took on e3. And you can see how quickly white's forces get into the game, and actually black's queen is in some trouble here, and there are all kinds of interesting tactical possibilities for white. You can see the queen and rook on this diagonal. That could be interesting for white. And now rook h4, and already black's king, well, black's position under massive pressure here. So we can see how dangerous this rook swing is. Let's come back. That's not the game continuation. Nihal decided, okay, I'm not going to help white develop in this position. He just decided, okay, I'm going to develop a piece. Fair enough. Rook takes. This rook comes into the game anyway. And queen b6. Yeah, if knight d7, then e4, and the pawn is going to come to e5, and carving out territory, already quite dangerous. So rook take's just been played. The queen is attacked. Queen b6. And we're already on pretty uncharted territory here. There have been a couple of games played with this. How should white continue now? One game continued knight c3. Another game played e4 was played. But knight d2. So Dubov continues his policy of hassling the queen and bringing the knight to an active square. Knight c6 attacks the rook. The rook swings to the king side. Very nice. Now the king's not yet there, but you know these pieces already looking at the h7 pawn. Bishop b7, knight c4. The queen is attacked. Drops back to c7. And now white has various ways to play. Remember, black's king is still in the middle. White's king is safe. White's development is pretty good. So it feels as though, you know, white is beginning his attack while black's king is still in the middle. Black has yet to develop properly. Black has yet to connect those rooks. e4 is very tempting. b3 is possible to bring the bishop here. But Dubov goes for bishop d2. So a couple of things. The rook might swing across to c1 to hassle black's queen again. That's very nice. Or, as we'll see, the bishop might come to c3. Now, Nihal castles. It's tricky to leave the king in the middle when rook c1 is coming, actually. And yeah, white can continue in various ways here. Rook c1, I think, is a strong move. e4 is very tempting here. But bishop c3 played. Now look at those wonderful bishops raking across the board to black's king side. Wow, what a position. After just 16 moves, white is on the attack. That fantastic rook on h4. Now h6 should be played here, but after e4, white still has a strong attack. So g6 played. Now that is really risky. Obviously, Nihal is looking to block out this bishop, but look at those weakened dark squares around the king. Knight g5. Wow, this is so dangerous now. h7 still under attack. I mean, to survive this, black has to play, you know, a series of only moves. I think in rapid play, it's almost impossible to defend this position. You know, you could try e5 to block out this bishop, but f4 keeps white's attack going. Oh yeah, introduces rook number 2 into the game. I mean, all white pieces in play. This looks awful. Nihal played knight d5, which actually loses immediately. Okay. Are you ready? White to play and win. I'll have a quick slurp tea. And what would you play here with white? Watch out for that pin. That's going to scupper some of the ideas. And yes, watch out for that one as well. But there's no need to take on h7. After queen h5, Nihal resigned. A crushing final move. Of course, if the queen is taken, then that's a very attractive checkmate. The bishop controlling these squares and the bishop supported by the knight. Checkmate. Quite a familiar checkmate, actually. I'd like to show you another couple of examples of that. But what a crushing win from Dubov. 18 moves, beating Nihal Sarin, who is, well, 18 years old, such a talented player, and absolutely crushed him. So, another couple of examples. Koblenz against Jameson. So, Alexander Koblenz, Tal's trainer from Latvia. And then, the Soviet Union after that. This was played in England in 1936 in Margate. So you can see the familiar look of these pieces. And Koblenz played d5 to open up that diagonal. And now, yeah, it's pretty bad for black already. But queen d8 is losing straight away. So black looking to pin this knight and hoping to survive. But queen h5, there you go. Exactly the same tactic. So threatening mate. Threatening two mates, actually. And pawn takes, allows bishop h7 mate. And a final example. This is very nice. A classic from Vera Menchik. From her World Championship match against Sonja Graf. So from their Women's World Championship match in 1937, Menchik with white. You can see the familiar look of those bishops on these diagonals. And the queen and the knight as well. Here, Graf, in fact, it's not that bad for black, but Graf played knight g4. Right, over to you. What is white's best continuation here? There's more than one good move here, but there is absolutely a best move for white. White to play and win. Menchik played rook d7, and that's absolutely killing. If queen h5 immediately, no, you shouldn't take, of course. But black, whoops, apologies. Black hangs on with queen takes h2 check. And this is, of course, better for white. After this, well, you can explore that yourself. I mean, white's just a clear pawn up. Should be winning, but there's a long way to go. But better than queen h5 is rook d7. Deflecting the queen, so preventing this counter sacrifice. And after queen takes, then you play queen h5, and that's checkmate. Very nice finish from Vera Menchik. I mean, there are other moves, but you can see that that rook is just killing here. Great move. So let's take a look at the standings. So after day 2 of the World Rapid Play, Magnus Carlsen is in the lead with 7.5. 3 players on 7. Vincent Keimer, Vladimir Fedoseev, and Nordibek Abdusatorov all on 7. So 4 rounds to go. Magnus in the lead. However, he has a crunch game. Board 1, Carlsen against Keimer. Very interesting. Vincent Keimer having an excellent tournament. So that's going to be a huge game. Anyway, I'll report back and let you know what happens after today. It's all going to be decided today. Do check out the games online. It's going to be absolutely fascinating. Thanks for watching.